Welcome to Erik's Island Survival Guide. After 10 years stranded on a remote island, Erik, a 3-star dark axe, found his way back to the mainland. A noble by birth, Erik decided to leave his old life behind and put his survival skills to better use, and sought out the prince to lend him a hand. Today, you will learn of Erik's struggles on the island, all the tips and tricks he used to survive the harsh environment, well documented in his journal. When you first find yourself stranded on an island, it's important to establish 3 things: food, water, and shelter. You're going to need some tools to get ready for this, and while there are many offensive options, Erik recommends the axe. It can be used as a weapon for hunting and is also good for chopping down trees to build a shelter. The axe is a heavy weapon with wide swings, able to hit multiple targets. As such, using one takes a decent amount of strength, which is essential to completing other tasks for survival. When starting out, you'll only be able to fashion one out of wood, but you'll eventually stumble upon better materials to make stronger ones. After 10 years, Erik had plenty of time to scavenge up enough granite, meteorite, and other grindable materials to make a primordial titan, the ultimate survival weapon. Unfortunately, he left his back on the island. As was mentioned, the axe you make can be used hunting for food, but also for self-defense. Hungry, violent fiends have started wandering the world, but fortunately, fiend meat is edible if you're strong enough to survive the encounter. With a strong wind-up, a heavy axe can smash into the ground hard enough to scatter smaller fiends, and even break away at the stance of larger ones. Erik managed to master this technique after using it so often on hunting trips. Additionally, with enough practice, you may even develop your own custom style with the axe. Erik developed 2 such moves for his. The first he calls Tenacious Swing, where he spins around, hitting all enemies and drawing them in so they can't escape. His second move he calls Wild Strike, where he smashes his axe down hard on the targets in front of him. Once you've defeated the fiends, you can drag them back to your camp for dinner. The other important resource you're going to need is water. In some environments, a freshwater river will do, whereas islands may not have quite as accessible a supply. If you're lucky and happen to not be stranded alone, going on a hunting expedition with a comrade can yield up to 300 drops of water a day for some reason. Be sure to make use of any other travelers who happen to pass by, as even if they cannot rescue you, they may still be able to offer resources to help you keep getting stronger. Make sure to stay hydrated, as a healthy balance of water can eventually raise your personal limits and allow you to reach even greater heights. Swinging around an axe on an island for 10 years takes a lot of effort, to the point where Erik's physical constitution rose quite notably. His mere presence around others causes them to feel this effect, and tank attacks a little bit better with improved defense. Erik has also gone into great detail on how to protect yourself from harm using the limited resources. Animal fiend hide and bones can make for great clothing and equipment. Erik managed to relieve a particularly durable fiend of its skull, and after a few modifications, the helmet he made from it protects his face from most things that may get in his eyes and blind him. It's no surprise that upon arriving at the Halidom, Erik made quick friends with Zace. Yue also chimed in with her own expertise on survival in the wilderness. But nowadays, this group always takes their #1 trump card along for the hunt, nature's avatar himself, Makoto. To sum things up, island survival isn't too hard if you know what you are doing. It's important to use the strongest of equipment available to always have the edge against the harsh environment. And as Erik tells me, that now extends to whatever dragon the prince pairs him with. His time on the island, and now at the Halidom, has really given him a fresh perspective of the world, and his talents have only grown as a result. To this day, he always carries his journal, and he started documenting the best skills to survive against dragons, like Jupiter. If you ever meet him, be sure to say hi, and if he lets you read through his journal, skip the entries for the first 150 days, they're just about fishing.